A fun wash
for a fun car. I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
This is DIY Detail. Today we have the last of the front engine Corvettes, a 2019 Grand Sport, and we're here to make it shine.
We're here to also educate. That's a big focus of our channel, but we also want to have fun, so a couple of butts there. We can do it all. We can bring the foam.
Right.
We can bring the education, and we can have a good time doing it. That's sort of the goal here, Ivan.
Of course.
Okay.
So, let's stop talking and start foaming.
The hybrid wash technique here involves using incredible suds for our first step, and then finishing with a rinseless wash, Ivan.
Yep.
Are you the one who mixed this foam up? Because I'm not sure how it's gonna look, and I'm not sure who we blame.
This was Sylvie. So,
Okay.
yeah. Now, the hybrid wash, like Nick was saying, we start with the foam. We go to rinseless, but we'll be finishing off with ceramic gloss and the decontamination towel to brighten up this paint as much as possible.
What's the philosophy here? We've got incredible suds in our foam cannon. Why foam the car first?
Well, primarily for fun, but also the foam is going to draw the dirt down, take it off the vehicle, making it so that the vehicle, when we go to do the contact wash, is super clean. Now, you can also do it with rinseless wash. But we have a pressure washer, we have a foam cannon, we have incredible suds. Why not?
Let's pull that grid off and get going.
Apparently Nick thinks I don't have enough foam on the vehicle, so let's just empty the foam cannon. Next step in the process, rinsing it off. Now, we're gonna be putting our tip on here, obviously. We wanna make sure the tip is secure. Aim it at the floor, in your bucket, wherever, but not at the car to start. The tip has stayed on, we're good to go.
It just takes one lapse in concentration for a very expensive whoopsie.
Yeah. Now, Corvette, big fiberglass, is not going to dent, but we could actually crack the fiberglass. Not a good thing. I have a bit of a surprise for you.
I'm always up for a good surprise.
We normally at this point would start with the hybrid wash, meaning we'll put rinseless on the surface and start washing it. But I noticed how flat the water is on the surface. This car has had a ceramic coating previously. Not one of ours, but it's been there for a while, since 2019. So we're gonna be putting water spot remover on it. Now normally we do the water spot remover after the wash. This time we're gonna be doing it before the wash, just to get those minerals activated, because we're gonna be finishing with ceramic gloss and the perforated synthetic decontamination towel.
So normally we would use the decon towel with iron remover, then rinse and water spot remover, and then rinse. You don't wanna do anything in the rinse department after our decon towel, is that what I'm hearing?
Right, because this is more of a maintenance wash than anything else. So just getting a little bit of the water spot remover on there, then a quick rinse.
So you're not even gonna worry about agitating this in?
No, because we haven't washed the car yet, so we don't wanna agitate it in. We just wanna bring a little life back to the paint.
You really are surprising me with this technique, Ivan. I mean, at home in your garage, do whatever you want. But usually in these videos, I don't do whatever I want. I stick with our standard operating procedure. We're a channel about education, so when you switch it up, Ivan, it is a bit of a shock to the system.
It's a bit of a surprise, but this is just another way of using our water spot remover.
There's still traffic film on the paint. There's still, contaminants on there. Is it gonna make it less effective, or anything worth overthinking here?
You're, slightly overthinking, but it actually will make the cleaning a little easier for us. Think of it this way. When you go through a touch-free car wash, they start with either a low pH like this or a high pH, then they switch it up immediately. That's basically what we're doing here. We're doing a slightly slightly low pH pre-treat, that is going to help remove the minerals on the surface.
So basically you can't really mess this up. You're just
No.
gonna rinse this off and then go about your wash. So
Yeah,
if folks wanted to incorporate this into their procedure, they could do it. It's not gonna be the most, I guess, thorough or efficient if you're really going for a deep dive before polishing.
no, and we're not polishing this car. We're not doing any correction work or enhancement, but we are doing a decontamination, and this is part of the decontamination process, but we're doing it before instead of after because of the way we're finishing our decontamination. Now, while the water spot remover is dwelling on the surface, we can clean the wheels. Bit of all clean in the foamer.
Now these are gloss black wheels, Ivan. I'm
Yes.
tempted to grab a plush microfiber mitt or something to not mess the face up. Is that overthinking it as well?
Yes, because our wheel and body brush is extremely safe, and so is our barrel brush. And you notice when I did the original foaming of the vehicle, I put a lot of foam in the wheels. The reason for that is that foam is breaking down and remove the grit. So we're not worried about grit in the wheels anymore. We're just worried about a bit of traffic film.
Folks might think the foam rinse foam method, which we teach on wheels or on paint, would not apply to wheels, but actually it's the exact same principle, right?
Exactly.
Foam rinse foam. We foamed it, we've rinsed it, foamed it again, and now we're ready to clean. Why am I starting at 6 o'clock? It's where the valve stem is. It's easiest to keep track of that. So I'll just go clockwise around there. And if I forget where I am, I can always remember, you got a system. The valve stem is your 12 o'clock. We start there, we end there. I'm not too worried about whether I do barrels first or last. It's just about getting in there, hitting every surface, but not hitting it, just properly cleaning it, letting the chemicals and the brushes and the rinse step do a lot of that heavy work for you. I also don't want to get any splatter back, so I'm kind of slow with the barrel brush as well. Slow and intentional.
I was recently talking with someone that mentioned that they would never use our barrel brush because it looks old. Well, old tech is sometimes good tech, and this is one of those cases. It's a Tampico fiber brush that as soon as it's wet, it's really, really soft. And unlike some of the brushes on the market, when you pull it out, you're not getting a lot of sling. Now, if you pull it out too quickly, yes, you will get sling, but not like some of the other brushes on the market.
And we've tried a lot of them, Ivan.
Yes.
I love the wheel and body brush too, because you can hit the rims and then the tires, and it cleans great for both.
While we're in there, we don't forget the calipers, especially since they're nice and painted on these. And then the barrel brush. I like to start at the top and work my way down.
Folks might be wondering why we didn't use iron remover on these wheels, Ivan.
You don't need to use iron remover every time. We could have, but we didn't see any browning on the wheels that would indicate iron contamination. Ready for the rinse off, Nick? You're by the back wheel? Okay.
Yep, all done.
So where the water was just previously just pooling on the surface, now it's doing a great job of sheeting away. So much improved water behavior, and we haven't even washed it yet.
Yeah, what do we make of that? Water behavior improving on paint. What's actually happening there?
We're removing contamination from the paint. In this case, we remove the mineral contamination. Now we just have to remove the traffic film. To make sure we're using the safest wash methods possible, just a bit of rinseless wash on the surface.
We talk about foam rinse foam. This is kind of like foam rinse chemical.
Yeah, foam rinse rinseless. I'm not putting a lot on. I just need to get it on the surface and doing its job.
Basically product, rinse, product.
Yeah, for the wheels, I'm putting some on. And the reason I'm putting this on, we won't be drying the wheels immediately. So this will prevent the possibility of water spots.
How does that work, Ivan?
The Rinseless encapsulates the minerals that could be there from our water, and the water here in Omaha definitely has minerals in it. So if the wheels do dry before we get to them, it's not that big of a deal.
This squeegeeing job is a full-time operation.
And yeah, for now it is. Hopefully one day our floor will be fixed.
I'm gonna be out of a job then, Ivan. I don't think I feel the same way you do about that. I enjoy the squeegee.
You'll still have something to do, trust me. There we go. So we have Rinseless everywhere. Time to play with the Legacy sponge.
Ready to wash?
Ready to wash? I just have to put the Rinseless wash in my wash bucket. 4 gallons means 4 capfuls.
I can feel contamination under my Legacy sponge, Ivan.
Yes.
Which means our decontamination towel will be a necessary part of this process.
Right. It's just a great way of applying ceramic gloss.
You know, it's okay if you have contamination on your paint to wash it and not remove it. There's times when it's just a quick maintenance wash is all the doctor ordered.
Right, you don't have to remove that contamination every time you wash the vehicle.
What happens if you do leave it on though for too long?
Well, it can eventually actually etch your paint.
Can it lead to rust spots?
It can.
Man, I love this Legacy sponge. Just dip it in the Rinseless and it comes clean again. It's almost like the two were designed to work together, Ivan.
They are. It's like bright lights in a police interrogation room. Makes things come clean.
Interesting way of describing it. So Ivan LaCroix, your legacy is a significant one, hence the name of the sponge. Do you want to talk about that at all?
Well, yeah, I pioneered the idea of the sponge with the slits in it for using Rinseless wash, and it really does make a difference. Now, you can use other wash media, wash mitts or things like that, but the sponge is by far the safest and easiest way to use Rinseless wash.
Did people look at you like you were crazy when you proposed using a sponge on paint?
Yes, like I was an alien with 10 heads.
How long did it take folks to buy in?
Until they tried it.
Yep, it seems about right.
Next step in the process, ceramic gloss with the perforated synthetic decontamination towel and drying the vehicle. When we do this, we do it panel by panel or small section by small section, and then dry that section off as soon as possible.
I'd like the folks in the comments to ask them a certain question. Process or process? What's your preferred way of saying it? Ivan, you have proper English there with process. From Canada, not your first language. You speak French as your first language. And I'm not saying process is even wrong. I was just giving you a hard time.
I know.
Not even a hard time. I'm just, sometimes I just like to talk. I hear something, I say it. So, okay, let's talk about the decontamination towel.
Yeah, so
with ceramic gloss. Normally we use this with iron remover. So what's happening?
Well, 1 or 2 passes, we can feel and hear the contamination going away.
We're not skimping on windows either.
No.
I tell folks when they're wondering, okay, you teach this with the iron remover and the decon towel, why you're using ceramic gloss. Ceramic gloss with the clay towel is a great maintenance wash solution. It's not when you're trying to revive 20-year-old paint or you're doing a deep dive paint correction afterwards. Think of this more as a maintenance wash approach.
Now, we need to dry it before it dries by itself. So I just had a towel fly in from off screen.
Not Amazing how that happens.
Yep. So I did the whole upper section of the vehicle. That way I can get on my little cart and buzz around the rest. One spray on the panel, one spray on the towel, match them up, and off we go. Yeah, the area right behind the wheels has a lot of contamination on it. But nothing that the PSD towel can't handle.
Yeah, the decon process will brighten paint. So too will ceramic gloss. So we're leveraging a potent combo here, Ivan.
Yep.
For fun and shine. Folks may wonder, is ceramic gloss the only clay lube in your lineup besides iron remover?
No, we have several. So the Rinseless wash by itself is a great clay lube. Incredible Suds is a wonderful clay lube. And of course, Quick Beads can also be used as a clay lube.
Hey, you reminded me that ceramic gloss can set up and be kind of difficult to remove if not wiped off in a decent amount of time window, but you just don't want to let it sit for 3 minutes on your paint.
No, you don't want to let it dry in the sun, obviously. Now, if you do accidentally let it dry in the sun and it sets up like concrete, apply a little more to the surface.
Just a little spray on a towel and then agitate in.
Yep.
Yep.
Same thing with Quick Beads. If you're overzealous with the application of Quick Beads and you happen to get a little bit of streaking, just apply a bit of Quick Beads on a towel, rub it in, and you'll be fine.
How often are you redunking your towel in your rinseless wash, Ivan?
Well, since I'm doing it in small sections, I'm putting the decontamination towel in the rinseless wash between sections, so it's going in there relatively frequently.
On white paint, you'll be able to see what look like little balls of rust appearing. You don't see that on darker paint.
No.
But the same thing is actually happening.
Right, just to a slightly lesser extent. The metal contamination is there, but the rust spots may not be, because on a darker paint, the sun heats up the paint and evaporates the moisture away. Whereas on a light colored paint, it doesn't get hot enough to evaporate the moisture. We mentioned in the intro, this is the last of the front engine rear wheel drive Corvettes. Now they've all gone to mid-engine. The Corvette aficionados out there, do you prefer front engine rear drive or mid-engine rear drive? Now this one section here, you noticed I went over it, did a little further and came back. The reason I did that is there seemed to be a slightly heavier accumulation here. So I wanted to make sure to give the rinseless wash and the ceramic gloss combo a little time to work to help remove that contamination, and just came back over it with the towel and it's nice and smooth again. The nice thing about this method as well is you get to inspect the car closely, you get to see what you're doing, and you can do it with precision, meaning you're doing one section at a time. And by doing one section at a time, it's very easy to see where you've been, what you've done, and your results. And the gloss on this car is just phenomenal now, so.
With ceramic gloss now kind of soaked into my towel, it's a really good time to open up the door jamb. It's kind of wet in there. You've got the lubrication of the rinseless wash or the incredible suds, whatever made its way into the door jamb before. Got some ceramic gloss on my towel. If it's really nasty, I wouldn't just wipe all that stuff in, but if it's fairly clean and just kind of wet, it's a great opportunity to just wipe down the door jamb, give it a bit of pop, some gloss and shine. When the person you're detailing for, could be you, which that's maybe even more important, when they open the door, they're gonna notice a bright and shiny door jamb, or they're gonna notice it dirty. Either way, they may not even fully comprehend it. It might be kind of a subconscious thing, like when someone has clean shoes or clean tires, the whole package works together, just a different vibe. A clean door jamb is gonna really set the tone. So don't forget about cleaning door jambs when you're detailing. I don't care if it's an interior detail or an exterior detail, door jambs are included, Ivan.
Yep.
Do you have any thoughts on that?
Door jambs deserve love as well.
Yeah. I remember in my early days of detailing, in the forums on Facebook, that question would come up a lot, like, are door jambs included on an interior detail or an exterior detail? And if you have to ask, I think it's usually a yes.
Yeah.
In that department.
One last little section to do, the big splitter at the back here. Now you might see in our content, these exhaust tips in a short video. Do a little short on cleaning exhaust tips. It's not something that needed a whole video, but in a nice little 1-minute video on how to clean exhaust tips very easily, very quickly, and effectively.
I put some ceramic gloss on a towel, a couple spritzes on the wheel face. I'm lubricating as I use my towel to mitigate it against any potential scratch risk. I'm also adding sort of a deep gloss, that deep shine from ceramic gloss here at the end. So the final details do matter, Ivan, and we're making sure that this Corvette is taken care of from top to bottom.
That's sort of why we call it detailing.
Oh, the smell of ceramic gloss is fantastic. And a clean wheel is, it's not underrated. I think it's appropriately rated. Just don't skip this step. That's 5 sprays, Ivan. How many sprays too many would you say that is when it comes to doing the wheel?
2.
What's your approach, 3?
Yeah, depending on the size of the wheel.
So 2 on the wheel, 1 on the towel?
No, just 3 on the wheel.
Okay, you go right on the wheel. Now, Ivan would say you should clean the wheel right the first time.
Yep.
So that as you do this, you could use your drying blanket or any of your finest towels to do the wheel. Let's say you didn't clean the wheel as perfectly as you should have. This final wipe down is a chance to inspect all the little corners, the crevices. Make sure you've got a fully clean wheel. With that ceramic gloss on your towel, you're adding a little safety with the lubrication. You're shining it up. And we're getting very close, Ivan.
Yep, add a bit of ceramic gloss to these door jambs, or to this door jamb. There we have it, a fun wash for a fun car.
We should probably add some tire shine, huh?
That wouldn't hurt.
I mean, if we're gonna do it right, let's do it right.
Couple sprays on the brush. The nice thing about the brush is we can set it in between the wheel and the tire, and that little lip. I'll get any tire dressing on the wheel, just where we want it.
I know we almost seem to make fun of the glazed donut look. I don't mind the glazed donut look, Ivan.
No.
I think as humans, we like shiny things.
Yeah.
Maybe as detailers, we get to feeling like, oh, I only like the matte, natural OEM look of tires. I think a shiny tire sends a message to the world that it's been cleaned.
Right, it has its place.
I know this is gonna dry, so it's not gonna stay this glazed donut look. And if you want more of a glazed donut look, you just let this dry, add 1 more layer of our tire lotion with the brush.
Yeah.
But I never minded just that pop.
No, and if you don't want the glazed donut look before it dries, take a towel and just lightly go over it. Now we just have a naturally nice black tire.
Yeah, that looks great. So either do what you want or ask your customer what look they prefer if you're an auto detailer. Sometimes you think the look you prefer is what your customer prefers.
Not always.
Not always.
No.
Probably 80% of the time it's true, if you have good taste, which if you're watching this channel, obviously you do. But sometimes there were customers who were like, hey, I just don't like that shiny look on my tires.
Just a few final little drips in the grill here to take care of. Because not everyone has a blower. If you don't have a blower, you can come back 5-10 minutes later, just take care of those final little drips.
Ivan, speaking of drips,
Yep.
maybe after you're done, you want to just go grab a soda, a coffee, a brewski,
Yep.
and just admire your work. In the meantime, you know the mirror's gonna drip forever.
100%.
Blower, no blower.
Yep.
These things were engineered to drip, so that's why our drip catcher, phenomenal towel. You can find it, of course, link in the description. Just tuck it in, let the drips go into the towel, and you don't have to worry about the inevitable happening on your paint.
If you have any questions about what we did here, please leave them below. We love answering your questions, or you can go to our Facebook group and we have 55,000 people happy to answer your questions.
There are no dumb questions on the Facebook page. Also, if you love Corvettes, we have another video you might want to check out. It's right here.